Hello. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if this is gonna be its own video or just a clip in the vlog I'm doing. So like, if this is a weird intro, I apologize. But I just wanted to, I have some things to discuss. And I decided to do that while cleaning Albert's cage. He's over here in a carrier. Second of all, I do have a mint because my allergies are acting up as usual. Okay, so things to discuss. Let's start with Suitor. So Suitor, she's still doing pretty good, but like, if you remember from my last video, I think, or my last vlog, I don't know, depends on what happens with this. I said that I was going to try Albert with Suitor in the quad. And I decided not to do that because while Suitor was at the time seemingly healthy, and she's not like obviously unhealthy now, we did have like an incident. Makes it sound so dramatic. It makes it sound so dramatic, but I promise it's not dramatic. So basically what happened is that, so I had them out for free roam, and I gave them all a piece of cookie, because Suitor gets cookie, because she's an old lady, and I play favorites. I did not grab a towel. Well, that's going to be a problem in a minute. But anyway, Suitor gets a piece of cookie, because she's an old lady, and I play favorites. So anyway, I gave everyone a piece of cookie, because I got caught, and the only way to keep Suitor safe is give everyone a piece of cookie. I'm like, whatever, it's not that big a deal. And by cookie, I mean like arrowroot cookie. It's a baby cookie. And basically what happened is Suitor was eating the cookie. She was quite happy, and then she just stopped, and she just dropped the cookie. Like, it fell out of her mouth. Like, she wasn't holding it or anything. It just like fell out. And I started watching her because that was a little odd, and she just kind of like shut down. She became extremely unresponsive. And what the hell happened here? She became extremely unresponsive, and then she was just laying there not eating her cookie, and I went and I picked her up, and she was still unresponsive, and she was just kind of laying on my chest, and I was naturally kind of freaking out because I was like, what's happening? What happened here? Is she dying? Do I need to rush her to a vet? I don't understand what happened here. And she was like that for about 5 minutes, and then she bounced back and she started acting normal. But at the same time, I was just like, that was very, very odd. And the thing with Suitor, she is 3 years and 1 month old now. She's very old. So even if she's seemingly healthy, she is so old for a rat. And I, you know, there has to be something underlying going on at this age almost. Like, she's just that old. For a standard rat, that is very old. Now, even for a dwarf, that's pretty old. Again, sorry for my math. Trust me, I need it. So here's kind of what I think happened. Here are the possibilities, in my opinion. One is that it was some kind of cardiac event. I think that's the least likely option because she wasn't breathing heavily, she wasn't making noise, she just became suddenly unresponsive for 5 minutes. But it is still a small possibility that it was a cardiac event. Like, she got tired and just like pooped out, basically. Again, not the most likely option, but still a possibility. I'm over here now, you can't see me. But anyway, the second possibility is that it was a stroke. Now, I think this was also unlikely because there were no secondary side effects, basically. So she became unresponsive, but then she bounced back, and her mobility was fine, her breathing was fine, no personality changes, nothing to immediately scream stroke. Again, still a possibility, but extremely unlikely. The next possibility, and the one I think is the most likely, is that she had a seizure. Now, with animals, people usually think of seizures as very obvious things, like full body convulsions, stuff like that. That is not always the case. Much like with people, it's like people can have different kinds of seizures, and like I know someone who has seizures, and like their seizures aren't always what you would see like on TV. It's like sometimes, yeah, sure, of course, but sometimes it's just like they would just like basically go completely limp. They lose all control of their body. They weren't convulsing or anything. It wasn't like they were unaware. They were fully aware. They just couldn't move their body. Very stroke-like symptoms. And if it can happen in people, it stands to reason that it might be able to happen in rats as well. So like, I had a vet once who was very interested in neurology, and she said like a rat brain is actually way more similar to a human brain than you would think. So it's entirely possible that that's what happened with Suitor. Now, if it was a stroke and it was a very minor stroke, chances are she's going to have another one. And that one's going to be worse because that's just how it is with rats. See how I'm scrubbing this lava ledge? This is why I don't do lava ledges. Like, he poops on freaking everything. I love you, my boy, but you are a messy, messy fella. But, if it was a seizure, I don't know. But it was very concerning, to say the least, to have a rat just randomly go completely unresponsive without any warning. That was weird. It was alarming, especially a rat her age. So I've decided not to do intros with Albert because of that. Because, like, with where she's at right now, she's completely acting normal at the moment. But with, again, her age and, like, that happening, you know, she might... There's a very good chance that Suitor just doesn't have very long left. Like, she's so old, guys. And do I really want her, potentially her last, like, couple of weeks to be stuck in intros with a difficult rat to intro? And the answer is no. Of course I don't want that for her. So, like, I am going to prioritize Suitor over Albert here. No offense. I am working on you. But, that's what I feel I should do. So... if she has another one of these events, I can try and record it. At the time, I was not thinking of, like, vets or anything like that. I probably won't be taking her to a vet to see what this was, because if it was a neurological event, which it seems like it was, they can't really tell me anything without doing something like a CT scan. And, like, that would require going to a specialist. It's going to cost a ton of money. And it might take weeks to get into. And it's just like, well... with rats, you don't usually have weeks when things go wrong. You have to get down to it pretty quickly. And, like, it doesn't make sense to me to do that for Suitor. So I'm just going to monitor her. If it happens again, I'll try and record it for my vet, and then I can share it with you guys as well. I don't typically record medical events with my rats unless it's for the vet or sometimes for education. I know I should do it more often because it's, like, beneficial to you guys to see what's happening for, like, your own rats and stuff. But also, these are my rats. And I get upset when they're sick. And I don't want to see that stuff on my phone constantly. Like, I have a folder for rat education stuff. And the very first picture is Polly when she had her, like, tumor or enlarged heart or whatever it was, and it's just, like, very obvious. I see it all the time. And every single time I see it, I'm just like, So that's what's going on with Suitor and why I'm not going to be doing intros with Albert and them. So I am going to be doing intros with Albert and the babies, which you'll either see earlier in this video or in its own video. I've already been rambling for 9 minutes, so I'm guessing this is going to be its own video. So basically I'm going to be doing neutral space intros with Albert and these guys. And I think hopefully it will go okay. At the very least, I know that they aren't going to necessarily be responsive to him unless Clark's holding a grudge, which she might be, but I doubt it. So that's my plan there. Next, I want to chat about my cats. So Dax, I mentioned in the recent rat roundup that she has, like, a little respiratory thing going on, so I took her to the vet. And they gave her a steroid shot, which I didn't ask for. They just did that. So it's like, you'll do it for a cat, but you won't do it for a rat. Come on. So she got a steroid shot, and she's on azithromycin, which I mentioned on here before, because azithromycin's another one of the common ones used on rats. And it's the same stuff. It's, like, raspberry flavored. It's just like you're giving raspberry flavoring to a cat. You can imagine how happy she is about that. But she's on it for 7 days, and she'll hopefully be fine after those 7 days. But apparently, if not, you switch to doing it every 3 days, because for at least cats, azithromycin stays in their mucus glands for, like, a long time. So, like, once the 7-day course is done, if I need to do it more often, I just do it every 3 days for a little while. So that's good. That's nice. Do I need to explain why I'm doing this on my bed? You guys get it, right? You're rat people. And now my other cat that I want to talk about is August. She's the little orange one. And she and Betty both, but August to an extreme, have pica, which is where they eat foreign objects. And for Betty, it's like cardboard, and for August, it's cloth. And the thing with that is that them eating this stuff is not great for them. I'm using this instead of just dumping it because him walking down or walking on the bedding has like patted it down into like a solid. If I try to dump it, it's gonna like fold over and go everywhere. So that, in case you're wondering why I'm not just dumping it. But anyway, August and Betty both have pica. And with Betty, it's not that big a deal because she doesn't actually do it too often. But with August, it's become a real problem. And I've been doing research on it because it's gotten to a point where like I'm really worried that she's gonna ingest something and she's gonna get form a blockage, and that's gonna be it. Because that's like an $8,000 surgery, and I don't know anyone who has that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money. So it's like, I can't necessarily just remove all cloth because she knows how to open our drawers. And she does. She goes in and opens my drawers. She has chewed up my shorts. She has chewed up my socks. She has ruined so many pairs of clothing for me. So like, I need to figure something out that is like a little bit more solid than just like, just keep him away from stuff. It's like, well, what about beds and pillows and carpet and like other people, my clothes that I'm wearing? She goes after everything. So I've been doing research, and according to what I've read, pica is either, it can be from anxiety, it can be from IBS. Yeah, maybe? And it can be from boredom. Now the thing is, or it can just be a genetic issue. And since Betty also does this, I do really worry it's a genetic thing with them. But it's like typically, the cat breeds that are typically guilty of it are Siamese and Burmese, and neither, obviously one's orange and one's calico. They're not Siamese or Burmese. I don't think it's IBS because unfortunately they do go to the bathroom in front of me a lot and they seem fine. They're not straining or anything. They go, it's fine. So that leaves me with boredom or anxiety. I get these cats so many toys. I have bought them dozens of toys. I buy them new toys all the time. So if it's boredom, I don't have very many options. I considered buying a harness and taking them on a little walk, but August isn't necessarily calm enough for that. And Cappy basically said that she doesn't want me to do that. And August is partially her cat as well. And the reasonings for doing it made sense to me, which is that she's worried that August will try to run away, like out the front door or something. And she's worried that August will get hurt while outside because she is so high energy. And if she sees a bird, she will go for the bird, basically. So I do understand. So we're not going to be doing that. But again, I get them so many toys. I don't necessarily think it's an anxiety thing or a boredom thing. I think it's an anxiety thing. So I've gotten them a couple of things to help try and calm her down. And if I see improvement, I might get a couple more things, or I might end up having to take her to the vet and seeing about getting her on some kind of medication. Now, normally lately I've been using pine, like kiln dried pine, because the kiln drying process supposedly gets rid of the phenols that are in the pine. And I've been considering switching over to aspen, even though I really don't like aspen. I have been considering switching over to aspen because I sift the pine and like a lot of dust comes out. And a lot of dust is gonna come out of aspen too. But a lot of dust comes out, and that there's still like a lot left over, so that's a concern. But then when I sift it, I put it into a tote. And then when I open that tote to get to the pine, a chemically smell just like wafts out and smacks me in the face. Which is concerning for me, obviously. Hold on. I had to grab a towel. So with the chemically smell, I started to get really concerned about, like, you can't really smell it when it's in the cage, but you can smell it when it's like in a pile in front of you. And I was starting to get concerned. It wasn't like a plasticky smell from the tote, it was a chemically smell. So I was starting to get concerned with that. And then my friend Ashley was doing some kind of research, and she found out people are trying to figure out why dwarf rats are so prone to Zimbal's gland tumors. And there's a reason. And some of it's dietary. Basically, they need less protein, less dairy, less sugar, like that kind of thing. It's like, mine are already on a kidney-friendly diet, so it's like they don't get wheat, I don't give them cooked protein. I don't really give them too much protein or anything like that. So it's like, for the most part, mine are fine. But one of the things they mentioned is white rice to not give. So it's like, okay, well, I do give mine white rice occasionally, so I'm just going to switch to brown rice or wild rice in my mix. And then another thing is to avoid things that have scent. And it's like, they mentioned pine and cedar's bad all around. Pine is bad if it's not kiln drying. And so I've been doing kiln drying pine, but with the chemically scent combined with this information about dwarfs, I was just like, all right, well, maybe I'll just, go ahead and switch. So we're going to be trying aspen again, and it makes me nervous, even though I did sift it, and like less dust came out, I believe, than with the pine. It still makes me nervous because I have not had a lot of good experience with aspen. In fact, I've had a lot of bad experience with aspen just because that's how it goes sometimes. Now, I'm really worried about how it's going to affect everyone. The standards are good on the pine. They don't really have any issues with it, but the dwarfs, I really struggle to find a good bedding for them. So we'll see how that shakes out. But yeah, all right, I think I'm going to, that's everything I want to discuss. This video is currently raw footage, 18 minutes, so it's definitely going to be its own video, not a clip. But I will let you know in the next vlog how the aspen's going and if I think that it's like a viable option for my girls. I'm not going to switch back to the Santa chips for sure. I said girls as if Albert's not right there. I'm not going to switch back to the Santa chips for sure because that was really dusty and Santa chips are not siftable. So it's like I need something I can sift and I need something that doesn't have a chemical-y smell to it. So we're going with the aspen and hopefully that'll be fine. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I'm a little behind on everything I need to do today. And poor Albert's just like sitting in the carrier just like, I don't like this very much, Mama. And it's like, well, I don't like it either, but you're not trustworthy on the desk. He is a clumsy boy. He falls. But, just spray the camera. I will finish this and I'll show you the finished product. And I'll put Albert in it. I don't know, should I just do a time lapse for the rest of it? Would y'all like that? A time lapse with just like a little tune played? I could do that. Hi, so I did decide to do a time lapse, but I'm not going to play a tune. I'm going to talk a little bit about Albert. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how things are going. I've been doing neutral space intros with him, Jelly, Clark, and Hera. And they're going okay, like no incidents have happened. Jelly has kind of chased him, not in like a concerning way, just like in a, I don't know, it's the way rats will when they're trying to like get to know someone and there's like room. I'm not really concerned about that. He didn't really react and she didn't like try to do anything. So that does bring me to like, the only concern I have is because, like, yeah, nothing bad's happening, but part of the reason nothing bad is happening is because Albert is not interacting with them, like, at all during these neutral space intros. It's like, that was my phone. So my concern is that since he's not really interacting with them or doesn't really seem interested in them, that they're not going to progress very much when I eventually do a carrier again. Obviously, at this point, I still have, like, roughly 2-ish weeks left before I'm going to attempt another intro. There's some other stuff going on, but I'll probably save that for the vlog, not talk about it too much here. But yeah, I am going to try. I'll just keep trying, with Albert until I figure it out. But it is, like, the longer he goes without a companion, the harder I feel it's going to be to get him in with someone because rats just get weird when they don't have a buddy. And I'm hoping that he'll just calm down and decide he'd rather have companions than be Big Boss Man. Because that is the issue. I feel is like he's trying to be Big Boss Man.
and he doesn't really know how to convey that without being a big old bully. And the girls are not acceptable or accepting him doing that, just because he doesn't, like, who wants to be bullied? And my girls aren't the kind to, like, just let themselves get bullied. So, you know, I do feel like that's part of the problem. I will also say Suitor has not had another incident. It's been about a week since her last one. She has not had another one. She's been perfectly fine. She's been walking around. She's been doing her thing. She's a very healthy girl for her age. She's also the most active girl I've had at her age. But I will say Ducky only lived to, like, Ducky's my oldest rat ever, and she only lived to be 3 years and 2 months old, and Suitor is 3 years and 1 month old. So it's like, you know, I said earlier, I don't know how much time I have left with her, and, like, very realistically, it's not going to be a ton. I could get extremely lucky. I don't know if you can hear my cat purring, but she's rubbing up on my shoulder and purring. I could get extremely lucky and have, like, a few more months with her, but, like, realistically speaking, you know, she's been losing weight as much as she can. She's, like, genetically predisposed to, like, being a heavier girl. So, like, but she has been losing weight, and she's been Jack, stop. And she's been, like, acting just a little weird. It's like she has more energy now than she had, like, I'd say 4 or 5 months ago, like, where she wants to get up and walk around. She wants to do more exploring. And while that sounds like a good thing, I do worry that it's, like, symptomatic of something else going on. I wouldn't call it a personality change. I just wonder if, like, I don't know, if something's up with her. Again, at her age, there's probably some kind of underlying issue. But if Albert does not work out with the trio, I would just keep trying him with them for, like, a while, honestly. I don't necessarily see a point in trying him with both Kelpie and Thistle. Again, I'll talk about that more in the vlog because there is something going on with that, but I don't want to get into it here at the end of this video just because I already went over it in the vlog and stuff. But I would try him with the quad if Suitor does pass and I don't have him in with the trio. Because it's like, you know, I'm not going to stop getting rats, so I'll have other rats to try him with at some point too, because it's like I need more rats for the quad. And if he doesn't go with the trio, they're 8 months old, it's a good time to get them buddies. So it's like, if I end up with babies, I would try them with him first because he's the one who needs it the most. And I would be very, very, very annoyed if I had to do that to an extent. Just because it's like, okay, buddy, you have to go with someone. You want friends. I can tell you want friends. You're not happy being alone. So you have to figure this out with me. And I'll keep working with him. But basically, the point being is, like, I am still working on Albert. I have not given up on him. I will do everything in my power to make sure he's not a lone rat. But he's gonna take some work. I am hoping I'll see some interaction between him and the trio that's not, like, initiated purely by them. He has groomed Hera once or twice. Hera does seem to be his favorite, but he hasn't put much effort into, like, actually getting to know her. And I am wondering if next time I try intros with them, I am wondering if it, because, like, some people will do this thing where they, like, pile everyone into their carrier, or in my case it'd be the little green cage, and then they, like, take them on a drive to, like, break up some tension, because it's like, technically it's like trauma bonding, which I'm not a huge fan of, but, like, you know, you do what you gotta do. But I am considering, I wonder if that would help, because, like, when he's not completely calm and settled, he is a lot easier for them to deal with, because he, like, wants them to, like, make him feel safe, and it's only when he's, like, completely relaxed that he becomes a bully. So, like, I think getting him, like, moving the cage around a little bit, even, like, maybe going up and down the stairs with him, or maybe even just being out in the living room with them, because, like, we haven't actually managed to progress past this room, because it just keeps imploding. But I am wondering if, like, changing locations or doing, like, a little drive, like going and getting food or something and just having them in the seat next to me would help. So I'm not opposed to doing that kind of thing. But yeah, so that is my little update on Albert. He's doing pretty good. Health-wise and personality-wise, he's fine. It's just intro-wise that he's not, like, a perfect boy. He would be such a good rat if he would just get along with everyone. He would be like perfect. So yeah, hopefully everything will be fine, and I will keep you updated, obviously, in my next vlog, and going on and on and on, every vlog until I get him in with someone. But yeah, I will go ahead and get into the outro, I think.
Alright, I have a lot of things to do, and that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you know what to do. All the fun stuff down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!